Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. My name is Rochelle, Slay or Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. And y'all, we're in for a special conversation this morning because we are going to talk about all things image. All right, so please make sure that you grab a notepad, maybe a pen. I don't know what you got to drink, but I got my water over here on the side because it is 10 o'clock in the morning, but do you, okay? Good morning, hashtag. We got at church business. How you doing this morning? Thank you so much for being here on the YouTube side. Appreciate you showing up live on the show. And y'all, I am so excited about the day. I just finished a 45-minute to 50-minute run. Got about 4 miles in, feeling strong. Hopefully you have that plan for your day today because this is Slay Nation. Okay, here in Slay Nation, we are all about moving our body, making ourselves feel better than we were before, improving ourselves in all sorts of areas. And we start with the word slay. Hey, Leslie. Good morning, madam, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. It is to slay. Okay. Yes, and we are in Slay Nation right now. Hopefully, you're feeling good. And we're starting with the word slay, which means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym that stands for Universal Life and Leadership Philosophies that really resonate with me. And hopefully they resonate with you too. And that is stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community, and knowing you are built to last. So thank you all for coming here live. I won't be here for very long this morning, but I do want to talk about this as well as the audit that I have on the QR scan code in the corner of the screen. If you are on your laptop, you can go ahead and use your camera and scan that. But because I have had so many people come to me to talk to me about their image and wanting to align that for the rooms that they are entering or going into, I decided, okay, this is really for those that are in the high visibility roles or positions, meaning you are the face of an organization, of your business, of a public facing service role, and you got to show up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That means when you show up, you're looking put together because when you show up in the way that people can trust, okay, respect, admire, connect, the consistency that it takes, all the things that happen where they're like, I don't know what they stand for. Y'all, that goes away. All right. They clearly understand what you're doing. They know how you're going to show up. And so let's just talk a little bit deeper about that. So I am not about being in the boring business suits. I'm not talking about blending in to the beige wallpaper. Okay. Too many times we hear words like executive image or executive presence, and we already go to it's going to be a plain, dress, suit, whatever it is that you're wearing. And that's just not true. It's really not true. Now, I served in the Air Force for 30 years and I retired in 2021. So it's been about 5 years now. And over the past 5 years, I have invested a lot of monies into my wardrobe. And it was intentional, purposeful, because when I was wearing a uniform every single day and then trying to figure out what I was going to wear in this next, I want to reflect my personality, my energy, the way that I love fashion to showcase that. So I decided I'm going to go all out. All right. Sometimes we get a little bit, like shy or timid about showing up in the things that we really want to show up. Can we really do that in the spaces that we're going into? Absolutely. Absolutely. I show up in hot pink many a times. Okay. I think I've like scared people. They're like, oh my goodness, it's so bright in here. Yes, because that's just who I am. Now, you have to have the right level of energy. All right. So this is all about self-discovery. Every time I put on a certain outfit that I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know what quite sure if this is going to say the right message. I'm like, that's the one I should be wearing. Okay, so let's just talk a lot about that. Hey, good morning, Chevy, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. Happy to Slay Queen. Love that you're here listening in. Okay, so if you're in a high stakes environment, again, anyone who's got CEO, COO, CFO, maybe you're a manager, director, you are president, vice president, you're on a board, you're potentially a speaker, you have a significant role that you're making a lot of decisions for people, all right, or programs, resources. I'm in a high visibility role because I'm the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. Now, Slay to Success comes with a certain level of visibility. If I say I'm Slay or Slay Queen, automatically the expectation is for me to show up slaying all the things, right? And so I know that it's fitting for me because I can actually meet that and exceed that. I do all the time. I saw that when I was in service, and now that I'm in the business realm, I decided that I didn't want to just show up. I knew that visual authority mattered. I knew that it mattered. So when we talk about executive image alignment, again, let's not get the executive word, that word in itself, attached to I've got to show up boring. I got to show up bland. I got to show up, fitting with everybody else. All right. It's about making your visual identity reflect your actual authority. It's not looking expensive. Okay. I know a lot of people who have worn, name brands. All right. They got Gucci on, they got Louis on, and all these other stuff, and they still feel invisible. Okay. So that's not what I'm talking about. It's looking intentional, it's looking confident, and it's looking unforgettable. Who doesn't want to leave a room where people are like, did you meet so and so? She had or he had on X, Y's, and Z's, and people automatically get it. All right. So we're not shying away from elevating and stepping it up. This is leveling up. All right. And as I continue to work with leaders that are in high visibility roles that are making, high level decisions all the time, this is one of the things that they are challenged with the most, because they're like, I don't know what I like. I don't know how I should show up. So I partner with individuals and we get there. We go through an audit similar to the one that is in this on the scan on the QR scan code there. So I sometimes go through this, questioning thing of, first, does your wear reflect your current authority? Not your potential, okay? Not your last promotion, not your last job, not your last, business adventure, not your Pinterest board, okay? I mean, we can start from there, but we need to create our own visual identity. All right, what is it? Where are you trying to go? All right, I dress in elevated wear because I want to hold bigger stages. When you hold bigger stages, there is a certain look because you are the entertainment. When I go to any sort of conference, symposium, seminar, yes, I am looking. Okay, I am making notes because a lot of times we don't see it as that. They're like, oh, my expertise is good enough. No, it's not. All right, because we're all looking. I connect most with the person that actually leveled up. And you could tell that they did it on purpose and they were very intentional because they wanted you to connect to the words and the information that they were given. And when you could do that, it's a psychological effect. All right. So think about it. The next time that you're asked to go in and grab the microphone, I want you to understand, what is it that they're looking at? Okay. Chevy said, the clothes elevate your look, but you own your confidence. Absolutely. So I don't particularly work with people to make sure they have a certain confidence level. Many and all, I say all, have confidence. All right. They are looking to do something bigger, better, bolder. All right. In such a way where it's like, you know what? I feel comfortable in this. Yes, this is what I'd always been wearing. All right. I go into the little things, the nuances. I talk about, clean nails. All right. Maybe some of us are like, oh, well, why are we talking about that at our age? I'm 53 years old, be 54 here in a few months, because I still continue to see this. All right. People are not really looking at the smallest details. All right. We're looking at the nails. We're looking at our ears. We're looking at our hair. We're looking at, our shoes. And they speak louder, okay, than anything, because people notice. When I was, again, a decision maker, and I'm a decision maker in my own right now, but when I was at a higher level, those were the discriminators. When people were sitting there and we were doing interviews and so forth, we were looking at all the things. They are looking at all the things. They want to know, do you have the right grooming and presentation to fit for whatever or places that you're going into? You have to be consistent. All right. Consistency. Your digital self needs to match your in-person self. I would continue to say that on and on again, because sometimes people don't even have pictures on LinkedIn. And I'm like, I will not connect with you if you don't have a picture on LinkedIn. I will not. And then when you have a picture on LinkedIn, because it's a professional and it's the most trusted platform, it needs to be a professional headshot. Professional headshots are easy to get nowadays. All right. So you want people to connect with you from what they see online to what they see in person. All right. Because if your LinkedIn profile looks like LinkedIn wallpaper stock photos that I see, and we all see, people will sense a disconnect automatically. All right. When we walk in the room, do we look like we belong? And yes, belonging does not mean wearing the same beige blazer everyone else is wearing. I am over it. I'm over it. Because I know that's not how people want to show up. They come to me when I go to places, y'all. People will come up to me and say, oh, I should have worn these shoes I had. Oh, I should have worn this necklace. Oh, I should have worn this top. It was so nice and it spoke to who I am. Why are we continuing to say these things to ourselves? And then you say it out loud. It's almost as if, their conscious is like, I'm showing up. Listen, I'm going to show up like I feel. And I feel good. I feel real good. All right. So I have invested in a lot of the things that I think most of us have invested in, but these are friendly reminders. High visibility leaders invest in styling. They invest in tailoring, fitness, grooming, presentation, consulting, photography, brand strategy. Because if these things aren't taken care of, confusion costs credibility. I invest in each one of those. So I'm going to break down how my wardrobe is kind of set up. Hey, Dietrich, how you doing, my brother? I see you over there on Facebook holding it down. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So when I go shopping, I just don't randomly walk into the store and pick anything. There is a specific item I'm looking for, and it has to speak to my brand. If it doesn't, I do not buy it. Too many times I see people buying things. I saw this one woman, And of course, I shop in like boutiques. I go to Macy's, but I usually it's the smaller boutiques that I go to because you can find some very unique pieces. And I'm not trying to have my twin showing up anywhere. All right. So, but I saw this one woman have a stack of clothes and they were all random. I'm like, what is going on here? So she was coming in and out of the fitting room and I was looking and none of the things that she was pulling out and she had that she was, showing up was working at all. All right. Now I didn't say anything, y'all, because I was like, I'm trying to figure out my own thing over here. But I was like, I'm confused. I don't know what you're trying to do in here. All right. But you have to have a certain style that works for you that people can recognize. Tailoring. Yes, I get a lot of things tailored. I have my alterations lady. It's in the dry cleaners that we go to, and I'm altering all types of things. I'm altering coats, tops, pants, blazers, because I want it to fit nicely. There's nothing like a good fit. Okay. Because then when you were like, you know what, I know this thing, what I got going on is looking sharp. All right. We have to invest into those things. So you got to add that in to, the expenses. All right. Because it is. This is when you're always in front of people, you want to make sure that you're presenting the right look. I invest in fitness. All right. Fitness is a non-negotiable for me. As soon as I wake up, it's almost like I wake up running. I wake up sprinting. I wake up lifting weights. I wake up on my spin bike. All right. I have a Peloton app. I have a Peloton bike. I have a Peloton treadmill. These are all investments because when you look good and feel good, there's something that you can, even think about like not doing. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Yep, I can do that. At least I'm trying to do it, right? So we're investing in grooming. Yes, I wash my face twice a day. I put on moisturizer. I'm wearing makeup. All right. I'm 53 years old. I'm wearing makeup. All right. I make sure my hair is right. I go to the hair salon at least every 3 to 4 weeks because right now I've got it in braids. Okay. I get my nails done every 2 weeks. This is scheduled. This is maintenance. All right. Because you never know when you're going to be called to do anything. And the last thing you want to be like is, I'm not ready. No, we stay ready. All right. So you making sure that these things are put onto the calendar. Photography. I've had 4 photo shoots over the past 2 years of pictures that I could use for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for all of my marketing materials, flyers, because when you show up looking professional, people actually take you seriously. So thinking about what it is that you're going to do and invest in to getting some new pictures done. Your brand strategy. I'm always looking at my brand. I'm building my brand every single day. I am making tweaks and adjustments. Are you doing the same? Because brands are going to be speaking, and they are speaking over resumes right now. People aren't necessarily looking at 10 pages of a resume. They're Googling you. They Google you and they see what you got going on. What does that look like? All right. So you got to build the brand. Building the brand could be writing books, which I have written books, publications, articles. I have a weekly blog. LinkedIn, thought leadership is every day. Facebook, y'all, I'm over here sharing stuff about our family and, what's going on with AJ and, events like that. All right. But you need to be building because soon enough, people are going to be like, I don't need your resume. I want to know what you've been doing online. Okay. So it has to all make sense. So in the high stakes environment, we want to avoid being boring. People are make me fall asleep. I'm going to sleep because they don't feel like they need to show up. I think when people earn positions, they like, oh, I'm here. And I don't got to do nothing else. I went to an event probably like 3 weeks ago, y'all. And there were some people that were running the event, and people were going up there and speaking. And some people were like on point. And I was like, yes, like that's the way you show up, right? Then others, I think they just threw something on and said, I'm good. And I'm like, and you're not good. You're not good. Because if you get an opportunity to be in those types of positions, you're not only representing yourself, you're representing a community. You're representing a certain population. All right. You're representing more than just yourself. So if this is how you're going to show up, which was lazy and not really, taking some time to really think things through, that's how I think you make decisions. So we can do better than that. We need to do better than that. Great topic. I'll call this the BTS work, behind the scenes that no one sees. Yes. Because when people see you like showing up, they don't realize all the steps that it had take to get you there. They just see like, ooh, wow, But I plan, and I know you do too, Leslie. I plan 2 and 3 weeks out for any special event that I am attending on what I need to be wearing. Do I need to get my hair done? My nails, all right? All the things before I show up. Because the last thing that I want to say to myself is, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I coulda, shoulda, woulda. There may be an opportunity that presents yourself, but you ain't ready for the opportunity. So this requires a little bit more foresight on what we are doing. Great tips, Queen. Yes. I love to hear that. So let's start wearing bold, intentional pieces that matches our personality. All right. Again, you want to wear hot pinks, hot greens. Like I'm always on the hot side. All right. I'm not on the bland, and straight color schemes, right? You could be wearing green, but green comes in different, what do you call that? Different, the way that they show up. All right. There's dark greens. All right. There's olive greens. There's drab greens. I want to challenge everyone, if you're wearing whatever color. So today I put on the most colorful thing that I got going on that, I haven't worn in a while. And so all of it is high pink, high purple, high yellow, high orange, like all is popping. You want to pop. Okay. So think about what you got going on. All right. Let's say, yeah, just booked out my makeup artist for the next few months. That's being intentional. That's understanding the game. Okay. That's strategy. This is not about vanity whatsoever. This is strategy, because I pay attention to those types of things, and other people do too. People are shrinking themselves. When individuals show up, I know Slay Nation, how we roll. When anyone in Slay Nation shows up, people shrink themselves. People avoid us. Their lips are trembling. Why? Because they're like, I didn't show up. They showed up. How can I show up? Now, they may not say anything, but they're putting the hints are being thrown out. Like, let's get it to this point where we're not afraid, okay, to do something different. Yeah, the palettes. Yes. I mean, so I'm in hot, high, not bland. All right. The small details are our secret weapons, y'all. The smallest details are our secret weapons. So dry cleaning, yes, the irons Okay. I still use an iron and the ironing board every day. All right. I don't care if I'm going to drop AJ off for practice, go to the grocery store, getting ready to take the car in for maintenance. I make sure that I'm not showing up wrinkled and looking like I just rolled out of bed. Okay. We're not at that point anymore. We are educated, highly educated. We are certified to the max. We have a life of substance. We understand what we want and where we're going, and people pay attention to that. It's almost like you are challenging someone else to step to it too. All right. So when you show up, your goal is for people to talk about you. Call it arrogance, right? I call it confidence of how I need to show up. Hashtag brag mode. Yes, you want that all day, every day. So think about it. Now we got to show up with the energy. Okay. The energy. If you are struggling with the energy, I highly recommend that you start looking at your self-care. Something is draining your battery. The last thing that I want is to encounter someone with bad energy. If you try to talk to me with bad energy and you coming up looking and talking crazy, which is negative, putting people down, saying things about the world that you can't control, and you just going all the way in, I will excuse myself. I'll be polite. Okay. But I'm going to excuse myself because it's all about the energy. I'm operating at a high frequency level right now. I have been for a very long time. I will continue to do so. So any conversation that doesn't align with where I'm at, I do not entertain. Period, point blank. I don't got time for it. And I want to exude my energy in other areas of my life. Okay. So yes, I'm smiling when I'm walking in. Okay. Yes, I have the right posture. I have my chin up. I make sure that I got a string on top of my head when I'm walking in. My voice is not soft and I'm whispering all that because I hear it all the time. I could barely even hear, because you know why? Because people are afraid of their own voice. And they're not in alignment. So I don't deal with that. When people start talking up, and that's a whole tone, and it's the inflection of a voice, I do not engage because they are not sure of themselves. These are nonverbal messages that I'm in tune to as part of what I do. Okay. But we got to make sure that we show with the energy that reflects the authority. If we say we have the authority or the expertise in something, we got to show up like we have it. All right. So when you make intentional choices, because this is what we're talking about, is all about choice. People start trusting you faster, not because you're flashy. All right. That's just comes with it. All right. That's just what comes with what we are doing, but because we're clear, we're confident, and we're consistent. People know what to expect and they want to include you. So if you're getting asked to go here, there, and everywhere, look, I'm going to get my little clapper. Okay, you're doing it right. If you continue to get asked, and not let's say you have to go to all these things, because guess what? I'm not going to all the things. I'm very intentional about where I'm showing up. Okay, but when you get asked to go here and there and everywhere, that's a sign. That's a signal. All right. So the audit that I have isn't just a checklist. It's actually the start of the blueprint that I created for myself before I retired, and now I'm using it in my retirement per se and in my business. And so ask the questions, make the adjustments, and own every room that you step in. Not only own the room, we are slaying the room. Okay, killing it, dominating it, nailing it, being on point, impressing greatly. All right, people know the vision. They want to be included into the vision because your image is your first message. It's your first message before you even open up your mouth. It's the first message that they receive. And if that message is boring and bland and it's not given, then forget being heard. Forget it. Because intentional, bold, and unapologetically you is the new way. Okay, that's the new presence authority that's happening right now. It's a flip of a switch because it's different. And I want you to replace the beiges and the blacks and the grays with the vibe. Okay, and we're going to look into these details. We're going to watch how people respond. And if you want to go deeper, okay, I'm always available for my one-on-one, consultations. I've got 3 strategies that I walk people through, 3 strategy sessions, and it will get you to a certain point. And then if you want to go deeper and further, I've got 6 sessions that we can kind of go through identity work all the way to creating your customized blueprint. So that way you have something to come back to, so that when you start going off the rails, okay, going off track on how you're trying to show up for yourself, you can go back and say, nope, this is what I decided that I was going to do. And I need to be consistent with that, because guess what? You feel much better about yourself. Okay. And we're in the business of serving. All right. So I want to thank you all for being here live with me this morning. Dietrich on the Facebook side, I see you were watching. And we had Leslie and Chevy here on the LinkedIn side. Oh, and then Leslie was actually on YouTube side. And we had Church Business on the YouTube side as well. So thank you all for showing up, being here. I will be back here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or if you want a little bit more, on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Slay to Success talk show. And I have a Slay amazing guest that you don't want to miss. All right. So I want you all to keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And I will see you all very, very soon. Okay. Let's start showing up, y'all. Okay. Because we have to look the part. And so we need to act like we look the part. All right, y'all. Hey, Kim, I see that you just popped in. We're getting ready to leave. So hopefully you can go back and watch the replay. Okay, y'all.